All right, Anna, thanks so much for being on the Friends with Wheels podcast. I appreciate it. My first question that I have for you is tell the audience a little bit about you and how you started in the mental health space. And yeah.
Hi, Laszlo. Thank you very much for inviting me. That's really cool, and I'm privileged to talk to you today. And my professional path started, I think, um, my interest in psychology started even when I was very young. My favorite book when I was a teenage girl was on on some brain troubles that people had due to some physical traumas and how it led them to cures, for instance, or to lose the ability to talk or to see something. So I think that that's how deep my interest into psychology goes. But professionally, I started mm, digging into the psychology at the university, at my first university, and then after some time, I became a psychoanalyst. It's a long way to official to become an officially psychoanalyst, but still, I'm on my way to.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do as a psychoanalyst? What does it sort of entail?
Well, to be honest, Laszlo, I'm not going to put people on a couch and do a classic psychoanalysis. My professional interest in psychoanalysis is it's very deep theory because as we know, 150, I think 150 years ago, psychology officially started um, with Sigmund Freud. So Sigmund Freud actually, to be very scientifically precise, it started with his colleague Professor Wundt, also in Austria, with his laboratory. But after that, Sigmund Freud developed his theory, and everything that we have is thanks to those two guys. So psychoanalysis gives us very deep psychological perspective on how our world is constructed. And my personal interest in psychoanalysis and how I use it and have been using it for the last 8 years, working with entrepreneurs basically, is a research method. So I'm not going to become a fully, let's put it like this, classic psychoanalyst who is dealing with people on the couch. I
Mm-hmm.
prefer a practical way. So I use psychoanalysis as a method of research and then practical appliance of psychoanalysis into the common world, like culture, cinema, and of course, solving out very practical everyday issues in business and in life.
Mm-hmm. And so when you say you use psychoanalysis in research, what does that sort of look like? Do you like have clients, do you ask them questions, help them conduct a survey, or what does that entail?
Yeah, one of the definitions of psychoanalysis is a method of research. So I basically know the theories and the principles that psychoanalysis works, and I don't usually mm, ask about childhood. Instead, I ask about everyday problems, everyday issues. As I said, most of my clients are entrepreneurs. Some of them are professional, top performance sportsmen and sportswomen. So I don't usually dig into their childhood, but I rely on transference, on counter transference, which are the basics in psychoanalysis. What is going on between us in this session? Then I listen very carefully what is this person talking me about the everyday, the current issues in his or her professional life. Basically, we're talking about professional lives and their goals. And knowing I also can ask some questions that will help me out to have an idea of the level of psychic organization of this person, neurotic, psychotic, or borderline. That has nothing to do with any of diagnosis. No, it's a level of psychic organization, and this will actually help me out how to work with this client. For instance, if a neurotic person asks me a question, most probably I will not answer. I mean, of course, if it's an organizational question, of course, but I mean about my personal life or something like this. But if it's another person, I will just most most probably I will just answer. Um, Easy peasy, no worries. So it depends. These questions depends. These questions depend. Their answers. I mean, they depend on how I would work with this client, and that allows me to help people to solve their inner conflict that prevents them from getting their from achieving their goal um, in around 6 sessions, which is about 2 3 months.
Hmm. Yeah. My next question is like is psychoanalysis sort of your only method, or do you sort of use other methods as well?
I also love DBT skills, which is developed and scientifically researched and proved by Marsha Linehan. I love her methods, and my clients do as well. This is the third level, the third wave of cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's called DBT therapy. And my specialization is DBT skills. There are four main skills: mindfulness, um, interpersonal communication, um, um, distress tolerance, and emotional regulation, of course, the main one. It's very well um, uh, written and structured for busy people, for entrepreneurs, that they would like to solve it out right now, right here. Nobody want to talk about their childhood or something like this. And most probably, if they don't have any trouble like depression or some kind of this of disease, they don't need to. They really need some practical help. And DBT skills is the method that also helps them a lot. They love it actually. I love this method as well.
Hmm. And so, like the way, because I want to talk a little bit about psychoanalysis on a deeper level. Like
Sure.
psychoanalysis, in your case, you're focused on methods and research, but like the way that it's taught here, it's mostly different, in that um, that people, like you said, sit on the couch, and it's kind of more nuanced, I guess. So what I'm wondering is what are the differences between the way it's taught where you're at, whereas it's taught, at where I'm at. Yeah.
Well, actually, the way how it's taught where I am, it's the same as in the USA. And in Moscow, we have uh, the professional organization. For instance, my professor, he's very well known. His name is Professor Kadyrov, and he used to be the head of the part of the IPA, the International Psychoanalysis Organization. Association, sorry, it's the one that Sigmund Freud founded, and it still exists. So the ways, the methods are the same, exactly the same. I'm also learning it in clinical um, context. Um, 2 3 sometimes 3 times a week I go to the clinic, and I see how my professors work with sick people, with people who have no diagnosis, some some schizophrenia or something like this. So basically, not sick people. Mm, Clinical context is very important. The difference is the way how I apply psychoanalytic theory to um, um, healthy people. And there are also people who are doing the same in the USA as well. For instance, my ambition is to get PhD from Harvard and to do it and to do a specialty of business psychologist with a psychoanalytical basis. I think that this is something like this is the
Mm-hmm.
time. So this is the business psychologist who is also based on psychoanalysis, but doesn't put people on a couch. But he or she is applying the main principles of psychoanalysis and its theories um, uh, to the way how to help organizations or healthy people. Psychodynamic coaches are the people who are also using psychoanalytic theories, and they're around the world, all around the world. The very widespread professional organization, um, if I'm correct, is ISPSO. I think that's the correct name.
Mm-hmm.
This is the professional organization of psychodynamic coaches and business psychologists who use psychoanalysis, not putting people, their clients, their even businesses on the couch, but applying the same strategies into working with groups of people, little, small groups, or large groups, or whole businesses. It's a very interesting thing. One of the things that I'm also doing is I try to connect uh, um, colleagues from all around the world to exchange professional experience. It's kind of my social work because nobody's paying for this. This is only on my enthusiasm. Moreover, sometimes I pay to the people so that they could um, give a talk or
Mm-hmm.
report or share their reports with other colleagues. Like on the 11th International Congress in St. Petersburg, I organized such a section during this congress, and we had speakers from different continents talking about how psychodynamic approach, basically psychoanalytic theories, can help business. We had mm, a person from Australia, a person from the UK, a person from the USA, and a person from Russia. So this is how, and these people, all of them have tremendous experience and also some research in leadership, and they exchange their research data and experience of working with these clients with all of our listeners and visitors from around the world. That was a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I
Yeah,
really like.
what I wanted to ask is you touched on something earlier. You said that psychoanalysis was more focused on the present moment rather than traumatic experiences. Could you like unpack that and then because what I'm sort of thinking about is a lot of sort of um a lot of sort of experiences are traumatic. They come from really deep, rooted places. People, they live in unstable homes. They're childs of parents that are divorced. So I'm sort of, sort of coming to terms with that, I guess. Like, unpack that for me a little bit.
Sure. Um, One of the reasons why people do not want to go to the psychotherapy no matter what kind of methods, is that they don't want to re-traumatize themselves. And this is one of the side effects that psychotherapy has, that they have to relive this experience. Um, so when an entrepreneur comes to me with his issue of, um, let's say, repeated dynamics with his colleagues, of course, I understand that it comes from his or her family, right? But the reason why this person came to me is because he or she doesn't want to unpack that. And I totally respect that. So, what I can do, what I can offer, is to um, try to work on transference and counter transference right here in the moment. That means that before we start, I have a card. I can even show it to you. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I hope that it was not very loud. It was
No,
my.
no, no, it was fine.
So I have this card,
Mhm.
um, and I'm sure that, well, you see
Y-
that.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So I have this card, and it's written here that right before I start, I write down my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts, my bodily feelings, and my short term plans,
Hmm.
let's say for the evening after I finish working with clients. Very briefly. So I write it down. At this moment in my career, I already know it, so I don't have to have this card in front of me. But it's still not far away from me, so that I don't forget it. And then when I listen to the person, I notice how my thoughts, feelings, emotions, bodily feelings, and plans are changing. So I basically can see the difference between starting point and the current situation of the session.
Hmm.
And this is the place where I start drawing my schema. I always draw my schema. I always have a piece of paper, a
Yeah,
pile
you
of.
always have paper, little cards. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Like, this is my schema. This, I'm sure that we will see. All right. This is my basic schema that I have.
Wow.
So,
Hmm.
on the left-hand side is the client, on the right-hand side is me. And you see the arrows. So that means that what the
They're
client,
pointing in the opposite direction. Yeah.
yeah, like for instance, the client made me feel ashamed. So I write it down. On the
Uh-huh.
arrow that is pointing from the client towards me.
Hmm.
And then I notice that the client is trying to, he or she is using too many words, trying to explain in very peculiar details a very simple thing, over explaining.
Hmm.
So that gives me the material that I made this client feel somehow um, needing or having to over explain himself or herself. So that most probably um, means for me that I made the client, of course, not on purpose, it's his or her inner world, guilty.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. What I want to know is like, because you said earlier that people who don't want to like uh, talk about their emotions very openly, they suppress it. They sort of suppress it within themselves, or that they don't want to do that. Like, why do they do that? What causes them to suppress their emotions? Because if you suppress your emotions, thoughts, or feelings, that it's all kind of bottled up inside you. It's not good. What's your take on that?
course, it's not good. It's the way that allowed this person actually to survive, because the conditions that this person learned how to cope with the feelings was bottling them up. So this is the mechanism of survival, psychic survival. And it takes a lot of efforts and sometimes time and very safe conditions, very safe relationships between people, so that this person could learn another way to deal with his or her emotions. Research tells us that it takes, on average, 2 years of good psychotherapy, um, preferably where the dynamics of relationships is talked about, or 5+ years of very good romantic relationships where this person can feel something safe, something alike that he or she can feel in the context of therapy, in the office of psychotherapists. So this is what research tells us.
Mm-hmm. Because
And
I could imagine the reason why they do that is, and some of the effects would be that like trust issues. Like if you bottle up your emotions, the partner might think, oh, this person doesn't trust me or doesn't want to open up. So, you know?
I know what you mean, but there are also those people who are also bottling up their emotions, and usually this is the way how they choose themselves. So it's not a problem for them. It's actually most preferable way not to talk about emotions.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. What have you learned in doing this kind of work?
Wow, Laszlo, this is a deep one. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah, I know it's a very deep, yeah, question.
yeah. I really love your questions. That's cool. You are really interested in this kind of stuff. Wow, what I've learned. Can I be very honest with you, Laszlo?
Sure, sure, by all
Uh,
means.
the, the, the very first thing that I've learned is about myself.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
no,
this
I get it.
is very selfish, but honestly, I learned so much about my inner world, about myself, and this is a fantastic experience. And thanks God that I actually came to this profession after almost 300 hours of personal psychotherapy. So that made my clients more or less safe
Yeah,
because I already knew a lot about myself. So now I'm really interested in the inner world that clients bring to me. Um, and it's an amazing opportunity to, you know, it's like traveling to different countries. I've been to 65 countries,
yes,
and it's an amazing experience. And now imagine that you have 10 or 60 clients or 65 clients. It's like you've traveled to 65 planets. It's a fantastic
65 planets. Well, that's a
because
great analogy. But
yeah, every person is a planet. I really love it. So I learned actually about I don't know how many, I never counted how many clients I had, but I know that I have clients from 17 countries. So um, a bit of I've traveled to a lot of different planets. This is
yeah,
what I've learned.
yeah, that's a great way to put it. I noticed that Daniel connected with us together. So like if you don't mind me asking, how do you know Daniel? How did that come to be?
Oh, um, I found his channel on the YouTube, and I was interested in his interview with Dr. Nancy McWilliams. So I've noticed that it's a very valuable video, and the automatic captions that YouTube provided with
Mm-hmm.
the translation for in Russian was very bad, was actually wrong. So I found his email and I emailed him asking whether it was possible if I could translate that video and send him those captions in correct Russian so that many more people who speak Russian as well could enjoy that video and learn from that video. So this is how we started, yeah, and he was very happy about that. He was very open about my suggestion and very helpful because we had some technical issues with YouTube, and finally we did it happen, and I published it in different professional resources. So I know that um, something like 1,000 people more uh, watched and learned, and we're very grateful to learn from that video. And this is how we started talking and everything. And then I also invited him to our conference and everything. So this is how we just started. I
All
hope
right.
that
Yeah,
you
that's
can
cool. So like
also.
is there anything that you'd like to learn in terms of something new within within your work, or what sort of piques your interest, or sort of what are you curious about learning more of?
About psychoanalysis of politics and more about psychoanalysis of leadership, because the situation that is going on in the world is a total chaos, and I hope that someday I will gain such a level of trust and professionalism as, for instance, Dr. Vamik Volkan or my supervisor. Um, he recently died, Dr. Arnold Mendel, who
Hmm.
were invited by political leaders to present at the negotiations to prevent wars. This is my hope and kind of ambition, but this is not like personal ambition. This is how I would love to make my input into this world so that my professionalism and my trust could be at such a level. That's why I'm very happy to talk to you, so that because it
Hmm. Hmm. I'm sorry to hear about your loss.
oh, thank you, thank you. I'm sure that it was not only my loss. Yeah, Dr. Arnold Mendel, he was a fantastic supervisor and our um, a great teacher.
Hmm.
So anyway, they were invited to be present at the international level negotiations so that we don't have more terrorist attacks or wars. And that really, their work really worked. Another method that I actually use is the world process by Dr. Arnold Mindell. His instruments, ranks, roles, I also use in my work with leaders, entrepreneurs. And this helps a lot. And this world process that he developed is a huge, huge thing that works in the USA and helps communities to hear each other, to prevent, um, you know, very bad things. So this is
Hmm.
what I'd love to learn even more at better level, gain professional trust so that I could be, um, and also we need some work so that psychology also gets some trust, not pharmacology.
Yeah. And
uh,
Yeah. And lastly, what tips or advice would you give to those who want to go into psychoanalysis
As a client or
as a
as,
professional, as a mental health professional? Yeah.
oh, as a professional? First of all, try to lie on a couch yourself and do not, please do not use it at the price of the client. Go to your psychoanalysis on your own. Um, find out about your inner world, guys. Enjoy it. And after that, make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't do it at the price of the client. Don't study yourself at the price of the client, because this is the one of the motivation what gets people into this profession.
Mm-hmm. And for those who want to learn more about you or your work, what can they do?
They can find me on Instagram or YouTube. I hope that so this will help that we will a contributor, right? You said or some.
Yeah, it's like a collaboration site on YouTube
Okay.
Studio. Yeah.
Yeah, so we will do this. So you will see my YouTube channel with my email if you have any question. And also on Instagram, psyana _com.
Mm-hmm. That's good. All right. Okie dokie.